Welcome to our CSIT 555 Advanced Database Study um, second class. Today, I'm going to show you some of the SQL knowledge. As some of us that who is the beginner of SQL programming, today will be the most important class that you're going to learn, right? So let's get to the course material. So in our school system, you should be able to download this to courseware from the second module in Canvas. And these two are the same documents. One is the Word format and the other is the PDF, right? So I personally download and open the Word document. So let's open it up. Okay. And in our first class, excuse me, in our first class, we actually um, installed MySQL server, right, in our computer. And also we will need dbeaver in this class as well. So first of all, I'm using Macintosh, a Mac Pro, but in Windows, for any of you who use Windows or Linux, this is going to be the um, same thing, right? So this is the document that we have to use a different study mode, um, which we will be very pragmatic and very hands-on. So you will first have to follow my document. This is a 28 pages SQL, comprehensive SQL programming uh, lab instruction. So what you're going to do is that after today's class, you should have a very thorough knowledge of how to run commands or how to run basic SQL programming in the database system, right? Either using a command line like this, right? This is a command line, or we will use some software like this, dbeaver, to connect to database system. So these are two ways to connect to our database system. The terminal is called a client side, and also this dbeaver is also a client side, right? There are so many open source software like this to connect to database. You could use IntelliJ, you might be able to use Eclipse, and you might be also able to use MySQL Workbench, correct? This software, right? I require you to install this software in the first homework. So my homework is relatively simple compared to other courses, right? So try to remember the most valuable, useful thing, not necessarily need to be the hardest stuff, right? If we do it the right way. So this is what I'm going to teach you in the second class, right? Okay, let's start. So first of all, let me make this a little bigger. So for some of you who can see it clearly, you can. I will go slow, and then you will try to follow me with this class. All right. So after installation, you should be able to know, okay, where's my installation of MySQL, right? This is the path. Now, if you don't know this path, I don't know how you install it. You can also use a homebrew, brew install MySQL. And after the brew install MySQL, you will also see, okay, it is installing somewhere. Use the which command, right? This is a Linux Unix command. So, so that means that the system, it is in the system path. On the other hand, you say, hey, I want to know what is the system path. Then you're going to see that, okay, my SQL is indeed in my system, correct? So now let's go to the bin folder. All right. So let's go to the bin folder. Let's do this. Copy this path, put it in here, and do a ls. ls is a list. Now all these files are the binaries, right? Are the binaries of my SQL server. Remember, the RDMS is a complex system, right? They have all different components. In Windows, you know, oh, this is a exe file, this is a exe file, right? These are, we call it binary file, right? So if you want to check the file type, whether it's ASCII or binary, you do like file MySQL, and you see, hey, this is a executable. All of these are the same. Now you wonder, what is MySQL dump? Okay, I can tell you that. MySQL dump is the tools, right, to dump the whole database into certain files. That's a topic of recovery and backup, correct? And also you have some debugging tools and you have these and that, right? All of these are, you don't have to worry about it right now. Why? Because they are very less likely and they're really aimed for DBA or advanced users, right? As a programmer or developers, we most often we're going to deal with this MySQL exe or MySQL admin. But right now, let's just do this. I type MySQL in a command line, and it says, okay, error. It looks very scary. Access denied for user, right? What is this user? This is who I am, right? This is my login to this Mac computer. This is my uh, a username and password, right? I didn't give a password, right? No password, but it took my Mac login user as the MySQL access user, which is wrong. So the correct way to do that is MySQL-u, put your root account, and you're going to wonder, what is the root? The root is that it's the top level, the most privileged user account of anything in Linux or Mac, right? But this is not the root account of your Mac. This is the root account during the installation of MySQL. There is a question say, hey, please enter your root password. And that root password, the user ID, is actually called root. So this root belongs to MySQL. If you delete MySQL or you never use it on your computer, this root account doesn't mean anything. All right? So this root is like your bank account, a web portal login. You get another username, password when you register in a bank system, right? This is only good for MySQL, this software, right? So let's put a dash P. Now, if you put dash P, meaning that I'm going to enter password, you can do the password followed by a white space, right? But you can type something like this, but I wouldn't suggest that. If you just hit enter, it will ask you password with a key that's encrypted. So if you type anything, I'm actually typing, you don't see anything, right? It's all masked. And if you hit enter, then it said access denied. You said, oh, professor, what is this? Because I entered a wrong password. Just be careful of your fat finger or long nail, right? When you type your password. So let me redo it. Okay, my password is very simple. And now we are in a session. What is this session? So you see this cursor is actually put on the right side of MySQL. Um, this means that we are in the MySQL session already. To prove that, we are going to copy this command, paste it here, execute it. And now there's another mistake. What is this? This means that the terminal is still waiting for you to enter the command or tell the terminal that you're going to terminate the command. So in order to terminate the command, remember that all these strings are actually sent to the remote database server, and the server is not necessarily on this computer. It might be an AWS server, or it might be installing Google Cloud, GCP, or it might be in my another Linux box, tower at home, right? So, or it might be your friend's computer. As long as you are in the same subnet, you can type your friend's computer's IP address with the port 3306, right? And then um, and then you send this command to the server. Now the server has a parser manager, and then it is expecting you put a semicolon there and then hit enter. And this is how you run the command. So every command ends with a semicolon, right? Okay, so this is the character set. The character set is something that um, it's like a plugin of the language that it supports, right? For example, we already support a bunch of encoding like UTF-8, 16, 32, right? We have a GBK, which is for Chinese, but GBK is like a small set of Chinese. For instance, take it this way. The Chinese character has about 5,000 in this set, about 2,000 in this set, right? Um, as you can see, there are probably no Sanskrit or Hindu characters or whatever. Maybe I'm ignoring it. Um, maybe it is supported in UTF 1632, right? Because I know these sets actually include all the Asian characters. Right. So why we need to have this is that when we create a database or tables, we're going to set the correct character set and collections. Um, Thus, we can write when we save the text in those language, right, exotic language other than English, then all the scripts will be saved and retrieved back as it was, right? If you did not set this up correctly, then if I save Chinese and then it comes up that looks like garbled uh, Arabic, then it's not readable. It's basically garbage thing that got confused by the database. So this is something that we need to do. And then the very next thing is that you're going to run this show database, right? Now, I have many databases here that is pre-created. Now you say, hey, professor, I want to use one database. Then here's how you use it. Use the keyword use and use the database name and then semicolon, hit it. Now you are switching to database demo. In this step, we didn't select any database, so you don't have anything, correct? And then the next thing is that let's do show tables. Let's do show tables. And then you do that, and then you see, oh, there is a table in there. And then the very next thing is that I want to do describe person, semicolon, and you can see, hey, this is the table. What is a table in database? A table is a flat table that looks exactly like CSV or Excel, right? Excel sheet. So you actually see all these are columns. Or in our first class, in the algebra, we call it all these columns are attributes. And if person is the object-oriented programming, person is an object, then all these we call it fields, right? In different contexts, we call it different names, but they are actually the same thing. All right? And then let's take a look at schema. And then you might wonder what is schema, right? And oh, it's not working. Okay. Then let's worry about that later. Let's do a process list. Now, what are these process lists, right? Root, and this guy is actually on demo, and he's doing query. Great. And where it is coming from, this query, is actually this guy is doing a query of show process list. So this one actually give you all the active connections, correct? And this is the background. All right. So let's do that. Um, Now, if you show this, the like it's a key like the keywords, right? So this is the percentage is actually the wildcards, right? You say, hey, something that contains connection ONM and then ends with a something, and then if you see that it match this, it match these, all these are system variables, right? maybe you can query all the system variables. Please do your research. All right. And then you can also do something like this. You said, hey, I want something starts with the CONN and capital C, and then it will match exactly all that, right? And then you can see, oh, connection, there are 12 currently, which you see here, 12, right? And also you see here, threaded connected 1, right? Okay, I want you to figure out more of these. This is really like a dictionaries, correct? So it's very interesting, and then you should explore that. Um, okay, this is the first session. Um, I think I recorded around 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to pause here, let you do this, and then I will have a second session for the second class. All right, we will catch up later.